Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? This is your man, the Kingmaker. I want y'all to bear with me for a second, okay? Just indulge me for a moment. It's early. It's Sunday morning. I'm getting ready to pull up at the gym, and I'm doing what I usually do on Sunday mornings. I get up and kind of reflect and kind of think, kind of go over the week. And I've been watching what's been going on in Atlanta over the past 24 hours. I watched Dave Chappelle's special. Been watching the marches and watching the protests, and I've been seeing all of the engagement over the past few weeks, and it's something that I think we all have to come to grips with, and I think that this country has to come to grips with. White folks really expect for black people to be silent about and to be cool with and to accept things that they themselves know that they would not accept and be cool with and be silent about. And that in and of itself is the essence of systematic racism. That in and of itself is the foundation and the fabric by which this entire country was created. The belief by white people that others should have to be silent about and accept mistreatment, and that they are the only people that exist on this planet that should not have to accept mistreatment. They even have the idea that what's happening currently in this country is not mistreatment. They actually have the idea that right now black folk are just out of their minds. We're crazy. We can't understand why you're reacting in this way. This country treats you so well. And at the essence of it, that is where we are. White folk want us to be silent about and not react to things that they themselves would not be silent about. Historically, traditionally, white folk have not allowed themselves to be inconvenienced in any shape, form, or fashion in this country. When you go back to the Boston Tea Party, or the Revolutionary War, or the Civil War in and of itself, the South wrote a manifesto basically saying that if you will not allow us to have slaves, we are going to separate ourselves from this country that we have helped to create. They were willing to separate themselves from the rest of this country because they were told that they could not have slaves. And they were willing to go to war, to kill, brother against brother, cousin against cousin. They were willing to shed blood all over this country, loot, pillage, burn, and bomb, because they were told that they couldn't have slaves. Yet every day they tell us that we should be silent about and that we should accept how we're being treated in this country. And let's not romanticize the North in this. Of course, everybody tries to say that the North is where the abolitionists were, and the North were fighting to free the slaves. The North was doing no such thing. The North was upset at the South. If you know your history, the North was upset at the South because the South was able to make millions of dollars off of free labor. And the North was not able to keep up with that because slaves were free in the North. So, of course, in the whitest of white moves, the North said, if we can't have slaves, then you can't have slaves either. And we are willing on our end to kill and to pillage and to shed blood and to have brother against brother and cousin against cousin. We are willing to go to war, and we are willing to die to stop you from having free labor. And that, again, is in essence of what this country was built on. But yet every day, white folk get on social media and tell black people how they should react to being mistreated. Every day, they white-splain to black people on how we should be reacting and how we should conduct ourselves in the midst of being mistreated by this country. Even as this new generation has said, we ain't going, and this is it, and it stops right here, white folk are still trying to white-splain to us about how we should react to being mistreated. And that is, in essence, what systematic racism is built on. Ask yourself right now, if you asked a white person if they had it to do all over again, if they had the choice of what color they would be when they were born, if they were able to come out of the womb and they were given a choice of being black or being white in the country and the climate that we exist in right now, how many of those white people do you think would say that they would choose to be black? It's because white people traditionally and historically know what they have put black people through. They traditionally and historically know what black people have had to deal with. They traditionally and historically know how they feel about black folk. And they in no way, shape, form, or fashion ever want to be in those shoes. And one of the reasons why they're so scared right now is because they know what they have done. And they are afraid that if at any moment black folk acquire any kind of power in this country, that we are going to do to them what they have done to us. I was watching something on TikTok the other day, and it was a young lady talking about all of the things that have happened to black people in history. And basically she was saying, after you have done all of this to a people for so many years, the fact that black folk are still asking for equality and not bent on revenge is amazing. We're just asking you to stop killing us. We're not bent on revenge. We're just asking for equality. And right now, I think it's gotten to the point where this new generation is done asking. And I love to see it. We're done asking. We're done with the legal analysis. We are done with the apologies. We are done with all of the kumbaya moments that you are trying to put together. You're going to either be with this shit or not. You're going to either get down or you're going to lay down. We are no longer negotiating. We are no longer trying to compromise for our own motherfucking freedom. We're not negotiating our continued oppression with you. This is not a negotiation. This is not a compromise. We are telling you that if you don't stop killing us, we are telling you that if you don't stop treating us like you have been, America, that it is quite possible that we are going to burn this motherfucker to the ground. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what side of history do you want to be on? And what side do you want to be on when all of this comes to a head? Because it's going to come to a head. Because right now, white America still isn't listening. Even as much as they are now kind of paying attention, it's a lot of people that still aren't listening. You can't continue to expect us to be cool with and to put up with shit that you yourselves know that you wouldn't put up with. There's no way in the world that white folks would allow themselves to be treated like black folk have been treated in this country. There would have been nothing but ash. This entire country would be in shambles right now if white folk were getting treated like black people were. And yet every day we have to hear somebody tell us that we shouldn't be angry and that we shouldn't react as we are. I don't care who it is. I don't care what the case is. I don't care what their rap sheet is. I don't care what their history or their past is. We are tired of our people being killed. And we're going to do something about it. And we're going to do something about it because I know, and I think all of you watching this know, that if there was thousands of white boys with bright futures that were getting gunned down by the police, if there was white girls that were getting stopped regularly in department stores and followed around like they were getting ready to steal something, if law enforcement treated white people like they treat black people, this shit would be over with in a flash. This is the America that you have built, and now you are about to watch it be uprooted from its core. Stop fucking killing us. All we want to do is make it home alive. And if you don't do that, and like Dave Chappelle said, rat-a-tat-tat, it's coming.